Hi everyone. This week on the Five Waiting Wombs channel, we're going to talk about adoption, other options, how far we'd go, when we're going to go there. So anyways, I'll just jump right into it. Adoption for us right now, if we found out somebody privately was willing to give up their child or was looking for adoptive parents, yes, we would do it instantly today. However, signing up with a company, facilitator, or whatever they call them, not gonna do it right now. We, after a bunch of expenses in the last few months, we just don't feel like we have enough money saved to really make it work well. And so we're not going to do that right now. I have talked in my personal channel about being a foster parent, and we have our home study tomorrow. And so hopefully we will start bringing children into our home, and hopefully from that we can adopt. Now, we haven't ruled out private adoption. That's probably something we actually will do in the future. I'm not against it. As far as me carrying my own baby, my husband doesn't want to do donor sperm, and we found out his sperm is fine, so that shouldn't be an issue. We also don't want to have somebody else's eggs at this time. So really, if our sperm and our egg can't make a baby, we're not going to conceive our own. We're also not going to use a surrogate. That's not something we're open to right now. But adoption, we are definitely open to. We won't be childless. I know that. We aren't going to give up if we just can't conceive our own. So somehow, some way, we'll have our family. But with that said, before we even really started to try to conceive, we always just said, oh, if it just doesn't happen naturally, meaning like no drugs or anything, then we're just going to move on to adoption, because obviously my body's telling me that, I wasn't meant to carry my own baby. Not that I wasn't meant to be a mom. And that's what we do. Well, I do find that to be so naive now at this point, because it's always easier to say you're not going to do something when you don't really think that's going to have to be an option. Now that we've actually went through the treatments, tried to conceive on our own, we understand it's going to be very difficult and that it may not happen. So then that does open things up. Now, I say no to surrogates and no to donor sperm and eggs, but that's just because of where we're at right now. But I'm never going to say never. That's just right now in this moment, that's not what we're going to do. Even though I think that's wonderful when other people choose that option. I mean, I really believe your kids are your kids no matter how they came to you, and it makes no difference. And it's just like what you're comfortable with. So surrogacy, the only thing I really have a problem with is that in many states, I think all of the states in the U.S., the woman could just keep your baby. She's legally allowed to keep the baby. And that would be so hard, especially if for some reason it was my egg and my husband's sperm, like it was us, and I would just feel like somebody else had our kid. So anyways, but I know you can do it internationally, all that other stuff. IVF, I'm totally open to. I'm actually totally open to going overseas to do it, since I don't have insurance to cover it. There definitely are reputable clinics. I wouldn't be going in the back alley somewhere. So I'm open to that. When are we going to move on? I've done 3 rounds of Clomid. You're really only supposed to do 6 in a lifetime, so that leaves 3 more. And I really feel like after 3 more cycles of just doing drugs, then either we'll move on to an IUI for a couple cycles, or we'll move straight to IVF. IVF can be expensive. We Dream of Baby has given me some good ideas to make the cost less. So we will try some of that probably, but I just feel like we need to save money. I mean, this is so expensive. No, I don't think hardly any couples start out trying to conceive naturally thinking, oh my gosh, we don't have $30,000 in the bank because we might need help getting pregnant. It's just not what you think of. I mean, you just think of names or think of stuff you want to do with the kids or this and that. And now it's like, it's a money issue. I mean, you literally almost have to buy a baby. And it's like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And that's why we're totally open to fostering kids and adopting from there, because the costs are so minimum and the state actually reimburses you for quite a lot of it, including the tax refund or tax rebate or whatever you can get for adoption. So that makes it a lot easier. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, you just don't know until you're there. And I mean, if none of the drugs work and the IUIs don't work, it's like, how many IVF cycles? I know people say, oh, I would never do like more than 2 or 3. And there's people that have done 7 and are still doing them. So it's just, each person is different, and I think we're very open to stuff as long as we have the money. But I'm not going to go into debt and then not have money to properly raise the child and have financial stability, because I don't necessarily believe love cures all when you don't have money to raise your kids. My husband was raised fairly poor and was not allowed to even do stuff like t-ball because they couldn't afford the $50 registration or the cleats. So things like that, we just don't want to put our kids through. So anyways, so we will talk to you next week. Always, 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 please leave comments and message us about things you'd like to hear about. We don't want to just sit on here and talk about ourselves. We want to answer questions, so go ahead and ask them. All right, bye.